Have you ever stopped to think about the weight some jobs carry? We are talking about those roles that demand not just exceptional skills, but a level of mental resilience that feels almost superhuman. Imagine waking up every day knowing your job is to save lives, face deadly dangers, or make decisions that could change the course of countless lives. That kind of routine doesn't just wear down the body, it hits the soul. In this video, we are diving into how high-risk professions can impact mental health, and why looking after the minds of these professionals isn't just important, it's a matter of survival. Get ready for a journey of reflection and empathy. High-risk professions go far beyond the glamour we often see in movies and TV shows. Behind the crisp uniforms, the quick decisions, and the determined expressions lies an invisible battle, one against stress, anxiety, and, in many cases, depression. These are jobs that demand more than just bravery. They require a level of mental preparedness that is rarely recognized or truly valued. Police officers, firefighters, doctors, air traffic controllers, and oil rig workers are just a few examples. Today, we are going to dive deep into the unique challenges of each of these professions and understand how the psychological toll can be devastating and what can be done to ease the burden. Being a police officer means living in a constant state of alert. It doesn't matter if it's day or night, rain or shine, the job demands ongoing vigilance. Officers face extreme risk situations like shootings, high-speed chases, and direct confrontations with danger. The psychological impact is enormous. High rates of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, anxiety, and relationship difficulties are common. Studies show police officers are more likely to experience burnout and depression. What's worse, the stigma surrounding mental health often stops them from seeking help. Ongoing training, usually focused on technical skills, rarely includes emotional or psychological support. To make matters worse, the work culture often discourages vulnerability, making it even harder for someone to admit they're struggling. Long shifts and regular exposure to traumatic scenes only intensify the damage. As a result, many end up turning to harmful coping mechanisms like substance abuse or emotional withdrawal. Without the right support systems in place, this becomes a cycle that's hard to break. Firefighters are the heroes who run into danger when everyone else is running out. Fires, building collapses, and extreme rescue operations are part of their everyday reality. But the toll of dealing with tragic deaths, severe injuries, and constant life or death decisions adds up, and the price is often paid in mental health. Many firefighters suffer from insomnia, recurring nightmares, and an ever-present feeling of being on edge, even when they're off duty. This kind of pressure can lead to substance abuse and emotional isolation. The physically demanding nature of the work also contributes to mental fatigue, as it requires a consistently high level of strength and stamina. Unfortunately, the emotional strain isn't always acknowledged or talked about. This creates an environment where mental suffering goes unnoticed and untreated. And the damage isn't always immediate. It can show up years later as chronic depression or PTSD. That's why mental health awareness policies and support programs are crucial in reducing long-term psychological harm. On the front lines of healthcare, doctors and nurses face daily challenges that take a toll on both the mind and the heart. The pressure to save lives, make quick decisions, and deal with inevitable loss can be devastating. During pandemics or times of crisis, this pressure intensifies exponentially. The result? High rates of burnout, anxiety, and depression. These professionals often neglect their own health to care for others, creating a dangerous cycle of physical and emotional exhaustion. On top of that, excessive workloads and lack of proper breaks only worsen the situation. The constant fear of making mistakes, combined with the demand for perfection, creates a mentally exhausting environment. Many also face moral dilemmas when forced to make life and death decisions with limited resources, adding another layer of stress. Psychological support in these settings is often lacking, leaving professionals without the tools they need to cope. Institutions must invest in emotional support programs to ensure these heroes can continue doing their vital work without sacrificing their own mental well-being. Few professions demand the level of focus and mental precision that air traffic control does. With thousands of lives depending on their every instruction, even the smallest mistake can have catastrophic consequences. That constant pressure can lead to anxiety, insomnia, and extreme fatigue. The demanding schedule and lack of adequate breaks make air traffic controllers particularly vulnerable to burnout. And despite the direct link between mental well-being and safety, mental health is often overlooked in this field. The work environment is highly isolating and intensely focused. Controllers must deal with unpredictable rosters and overnight shifts that seriously disrupt their sleep cycles. Prolonged sleep deprivation can worsen mental health issues and impair decision-making abilities. On top of that, the intense training and high expectations often create a culture of perfectionism, one where asking for help can feel like admitting failure. While technology plays a vital role in the job, it can also add stress, as system malfunctions put even more pressure on the human element. It's essential to implement and promote psychological support programs to ensure these professionals receive the care and recognition they deserve. Far from home, isolated at sea, and exposed to extreme conditions, offshore oil rig workers face challenges that go well beyond physical danger. Loneliness, social isolation, and the relentless pressure to deliver results in a hazardous environment all contribute to serious mental health risks. Depression, anxiety, and alcohol misuse are common among these workers, who often struggle to seek help due to limited access to healthcare while on site. Spending weeks or even months away from their families can lead to a deep sense of disconnection and emotional fatigue. The work is physically demanding, with long shifts and very little downtime. The ever-present risk of accidents creates a constant state of alert, making it hard to relax, even during rest periods. For many, the lack of privacy in shared accommodations only adds to the stress. Tailored mental health programs for offshore workers are crucial to address the unique psychological demands of this lifestyle. Without adequate support, the isolation and intensity of this work can lead to long-term mental health consequences. Being in the military isn't just a job. It's a calling that demands enormous personal and family sacrifices. Beyond the dangers faced in combat missions, military personnel carry a heavy psychological load. Long separations from loved ones, the trauma of violent events, and the demands of strict discipline can lead to serious mental health issues such as PTSD, anxiety, and depression. In times of war or during high-risk missions, these challenges are even more intense. Many soldiers struggle to reintegrate into civilian life after their service ends, which can worsen emotional difficulties. Psychological support and reintegration programs are essential to help these professionals deal with the impact of their service and rebuild their lives with dignity and care. Truck drivers face challenges that often go unnoticed by society. Long hours on the road, social isolation, and tight deadlines create an environment ripe for stress and exhaustion. Sleep deprivation, which is all too common in this line of work, can lead to serious mental health problems like anxiety and depression. Spending extended periods away from home and family also contributes to feelings of loneliness and disconnection. To make matters worse, access to mental health services while on the road is extremely limited, making it even harder for these workers to get the help they need. Remote psychological support initiatives and improvements in working conditions are crucial for protecting mental health in this sector. These professionals keep the world moving, and they deserve care and recognition for everything they endure behind the wheel. Whether on land, in the air, or at sea, high-risk professions come with a steep psychological cost. These professionals are real-life heroes, but even heroes need care. It's vital that society not only values the work they do, but also prioritizes their mental well-being. If you know someone who works in a high-risk job, ask how they're doing. Offer your support, and encourage them to seek help if they need it. Sometimes, just knowing someone cares can make a world of difference. If you've made it this far, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing this kind of content to more people. And don't forget, there's another video popping up on the screen right now that you're going to love. Thanks for being with us, and see you next time.